Thank you for joining me. I'm SpunkieMunkie, and welcome to Kingdom of Erart. But yeah, our village is thriving, and there's something else I wanted to point out. You notice the iron golems, especially. It took some time to cover up these. You know what? Let me give me some of my arms here, and basically my crosshairs. But it did take me some time to cover up these water troughs. But you'll notice that the golems are all roaming around, protecting like they're supposed to be. And they are not getting stuck in these little channels of water, bobbing up and down. The only thing that might catch them after doing all that work in the previous episode, and I don't even think I have that type of a building. Now, here's one. Sometimes, and there's a sheep stuck in there right now, but sometimes an iron golem will spawn in here, and then he's kind of stuck. But for the most part, that's why I do all that. I cover up these water channels. They stay hydrated, keeps the crops hydrated, but they're not getting stuck bobbing up and down. Now, sorry I haven't had, I've been working on the Bedrock Zoo, so I haven't had any time to work on this. So this will actually be a nice change for me, get away from the zoo for a little while. But one thing I noticed when I was looking at the last episode, and it kind of kept sticking out at me when I was watching the episode. But I think let's check out this little cave here. We'll start off with some exploration. But we've got, see, this goes straight down. Ooh, cool. Straight down to nothing. Okay, well, we might be able to work with that, but let's see what we got over here. This is the one that really attracted me. I mean, does that look like an awesome mine entrance or what? Okay, and it goes to another dead end, which in a way is a good thing. It gives me a lot more of my creative juices flowing. But what I'm looking at is, with the size of the castle, we got to expand the town anyway. We're going to have a mine to dig all the rock out to build this castle, correct? So that's, like I said, I like to use the natural generation of the world as much as I can and even make it part of the story. So what I'm thinking of is making this our main mine, and then having this over here as an industrial area. Kind of like, the smelters and, you got the miners down there, so we'll have to have a place for the miners to stay and fit it all in the story. And there is a reason for this castle to be here, and that is also part of the story. See, I was thinking we could actually use this one too as the mine, but it goes underneath the castle. So I think I would rather use that for something to play with under the castle. We'll get back with that probably in future episodes. But remember I told you that the main thing of this game is a language that you will have to figure out. Well, that's why this castle got built as part of the story. And actually, while I'm talking to you and doing this, I'm going to change this wall out here. But there's going to be a language, and what they did is they found a word here already in the ground, and they realized that it was a language, so they basically built a castle above that. Okay, there we go. Let's get some lighting on here, and here we go with the double torches again. But so that's kind of the premise of this story. I won't be able to really show it to you until we get the castle built, because I'm going to have it, I'm either going to have it in the floor, the first word in the floor right along here. Like I said, the language is made out of all the different ores and blocks of the game, and you'll see how I set that up. But I'm either thinking that, or maybe down in one of these caves, because there were some extensive caves here, if I recall correctly. And this is probably not one of them. Well, looks like it takes us kind of far. Let's see where it takes us. Okay, it goes up here. A lot of these are going to get covered up. Yeah, see, it's inside the castle walls, so a lot of that will get covered up. So this actually might be a good idea. Maybe I can put the first word that you guys get in a wall along here. I thought there was a room somewhere over here. Let's see, yeah, like right here. We can put it like right here. This would be a great spot to put the first word. And that'll be why the castle is built, to try and figure out that language. Of course, that'll be your job, to be able to read future words and complete the map. Like I said, it's an idea I had back in the Dungeons and Dragons days. I kind of make my own on this particular game. I kind of made my own symbols, and you know, there were more hieroglyphs. Obviously, with Minecraft, you can't really throw hieroglyphs in here. Wow, this system is really extensive. This will be great under the castle. And it keeps going up through there. But yeah, so you know, the people really enjoyed just getting one word, and then they had to go on a quest to find another word, and that's kind of the same premise I got going here. So there will be a lot of little side quests for you guys to do, and after you complete the quest, there will more than likely be a word or a letter of something, more than likely a word, and that'll give you a few more letters, you know what I'm saying? And then you'll have to figure out the language and actually understand what it all, I forgot to change this side of the wall. You'll have to understand what it all, you know, coordinates out to, and use that to actually complete this map. So, like I said, you know, the players that I had really enjoyed it, and I enjoyed making it. It was kind of cool, you know, coming up with my own language. So the main part of this episode is, seeing as I didn't get the castle started at all, I would build it with you and explain to you how I'm getting this, how I got these dimensions off of a real castle, to figure out the size. I kind of skimmed over it in the last episode, but I really didn't get too in depth in it. But I want to show you how I came up with the dimensions of it just by going off of a picture of a real castle. I thought that would be some useful information for you guys, and it'll be fun for me. Like I said, I enjoy. I've never been a teacher, but I enjoy teaching. It's something I've always enjoyed, and that's what I like to do. I like to, as you see in the Bedrock Zoo, if you watch that, I really enjoy experimenting and figuring out, you know, different ways of doing things, or try to figure out how to get, you know, come up with an idea and then figure out how to make it work inside Minecraft. So that is what I enjoy doing, and that's what I hope you guys will enjoy learning. As a matter of fact, particular castle is that in the tower it had crosses for the windows, which is the thing I really liked. Now, they were slits. They were slit crosses, but they were crosses nonetheless, and I really liked how they do that. Now, in order to do in Minecraft, I'll just do one here. Let me go ahead and fill in this to 5. Basically, I'm running this off of 5s, and this is how I came up with it, because the cross takes 3 blocks, and then of course I need something to close it off, so I need at least a 5-block area in order to make the crosses. So that is how I based the size of it. So now that's how I came up with a 15-block wide tower, because I want 5 over here, and then here's another 5, and then another 5. The center block here, and we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So there's the start of my window. There we go. That looks better. So now I got the first window done. And like I said, I'm basing it off of 5. So right here, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then the second windows are actually a little different. It's 2. And then 1, 2. Too much. 1, 2. Yeah, okay, that's right. So you can see how I ended up with the number 5 as my basic, as my starting number, basically everything. So yeah, that's how I got my spacing of 5, and that's how I was able to start figuring out the castle itself. I base it off of the size of 5, and I judge it according to the width of the window. We know the window is 3. So when I'm looking at the picture, I can actually gauge, just kind of like look by looking at it and comparing it with a window. And I use windows because windows in a builds, real and fake, are generally always the same. They're consistent. They're always the same size. Now they have differences to them, obviously, but for the most part, it gives you something to work off of as far as getting your spacing down. And that's how I ended up with that outline, was by going off the windows. Okay, this window has, we'll say it's 5 in between. And then this window has 3 in between. And that's how I can go, that's how I kind of judged how to figure out the spacing. And then of course you step back or fly back in this case, and you decide, if that looks right. Does it look like the picture? Okay, now I'm looking for another 5 block gap. 2, 3, 4, and then we got another 5. Okay, that should be good enough. So then we go another 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So the bottom of our next window is right here. Double check that. Yeah, that's 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, and then that goes 2. Off by 1 row. Obviously, due to copyright reasons, I can't show you the picture, but if you compare that to the picture, the scale's about right. So that's how I was able to figure out, okay, so I want to base 5 on the size. Now I do a little difference. Okay, and this actually goes up 1 more, right? 1, 2, yeah, 1, 2. Okay, now in order to get this all to work out right, it went 4 instead of 5. So let me get some more blocks up here. Okay, now I didn't really count that, so I don't know if that's going to be high enough or not. But so it's got a small cross down on the bottom, a small cross window, and then a longer or taller cross window there, and another one there. And then what it actually has is a circle, which of course this is a square game. 2, 3, 4. And I went with a 4 block space this time. Now, because we can't create circles, I went with a square. Now, what you can do, and I did play around with this a little bit, is you can do this and kind of make it look like a circle. But then the problem with that, and this is why you always experiment. Let's see, I don't need these right now. And you can probably already see what the issue is. The glass doesn't fit in right. Now the other thing I did was I built a border on the inside and then filled the glass in, and that looked okay, but that would have made all my walls three blocks wide and would really cut down the amount of area I had to work with inside the castle. Okay, let me get some torchlight here so we can see it better, seeing as it's dark. And I want to keep the cycle going for the villagers. But yeah, I mean, that doesn't look bad. You know, the glass fills in and it looks round. Okay. Up close, it doesn't look that great, but look how tall up it is. It's, you know, from down it would actually look pretty good. And like I said, it does add a lot of depth to the build. However, looking at the picture, there is not a lot of depth in the windows. And the other disadvantage to it would be this is where my inner wall would be because of this. So I would have a 1 block gap all the way around all these walls that would have to be lit up so that we don't get spawn in there, pain in the butt. And the other issue is we have to have a spiral staircase of some sort, because I really don't like using ladders if I don't have to. But so we would have to have some kind of a stairwell here, you know, like this. So then that only leaves you a 3 block wide gap, and there's nothing you can do with that. You know, I can move it in the corner instead of having it in the center here. But it's either way, it's still going to take up a lot of room to have a stairwell, as opposed to getting rid of this wall and having it 1 block thick. See, now that gives you a 5 block space. There's something else you can do with this area then. You know, you can put enchanting tables here, take 2 of these rows and put chests in so that you have storage. Yeah, you know, there's a lot more you can do with the 1 block thing. And like I said, this didn't have the depth in it, so I opted not to go with it. But I just wanted to show you that I did do this very same experiment on the testing world, and this is why I decided, instead of going with a round window, or at least making it look round, we stick with a square one. Oops. So like I said, you know, that's why I opted to just go with the square window. But the spacing was more important. So I wonder if if I put corners here, it'll just be another cross, and that's what I want. It's not what's on the picture, and that's what I picked this for a reason. Okay, so now in order to finish off this top, we go right to the center here. We got 1, 2. Okay, now I got this built up better. There's 8 from the top of this window to the bottom of this. Now what this bottom is the parapets, 2, 3. And then this is, you'll notice, is 5, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's where, again, I go with 5 as my size. Okay, now these are the parapets. So what actually, and these actually go this way. They're not sloped down. You look at the picture, and this is more how they are. They're more of a stair type than they are like this. Oops. Like that. They don't really look to be that way on the castle itself. So we go with that. But that'll give us our parapets. And you notice I like this too, because it's not like you would normally build. You got 1 here. Oops. You redo that. You'd have 1 here, skip a space, 1, skip a space, 1. You know, that these parapets, I mean, I'm looking at how it's divided and everything, and I think that this 5 block spacing just fits. It makes it look nice, and it already kind of gives me my floor levels. Like, for example, let's see, I could go with taking a floor level right here. And that would still give me 2 block space under here, but I'll actually, you'll see, I'll probably figure out a stairwell system, or a small stairway up. We can get rid of this too. But until I get more of it built. Okay, so then we got that. So that way we have a floor right here, and we can actually look out the window. Or should we put the floor? See, again, this is, where do you want it? Maybe I'll go with this. And then this would be the window. Walking up to, I like this better. Yeah, definitely like that better. So there's going to be the first floor is 3 tall. So actually that makes it better because I'd rather have three tall. It's not as claustrophobic. So I think we will continue that theme. So that kind of gives us an idea of how many floors we're going to have in this tower, just based off of based off of the windows. So when you're building off of a picture, especially, because the windows are pretty standard throughout a build. So you want to start off with that and use that as your gauge. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut away, and I'm going to work on some more of this. It'll probably be very plain. Just get some of this outside. I want to get basically what I got done in creative done here on this world and start seeing how it works. I want to finish off the other side though. But yeah, so let me cut away here. I'll clean up some of this. Yeah, maybe I don't have to right off the bat. Just have to clear out some of these trees. I won't work on the floor till later, but I'll have to clear out some of this in order to get this lined up right, height-wise. So it looks like, see, yeah, this goes up. So here's my height right here. Yeah, this will be the floor of my castle right here. So then I'll have to go up 1, 2, 3. So I will have to basically cut all this dirt away from here up and get the wall even. But I'll get with that in a little bit. Like I said, I want to get some of this build done. So I'll bring you back in a little bit. Okay guys, what I did was I went back down into that tunnel where we had the wall planned with the word, the first word that you guys get. Get the villagers go nuts. I basically outlined them all in torches. So what I think I'm going to do, and this is kind of perfect, and this thing is almost centered, this entryway right here is almost centered. So I think that'll probably be the main entrance down to it. And the reason why I came up with that is, this one's kind of odd. It goes right underneath the wall, so I'll have to actually fill all that in. So this will probably get all blocked off, and I started doing the outside of the smaller tunnel, or the smaller fascia, and it's basically right here. So this will be all outside. So this will definitely probably get blocked off also. So I think this is going to be my main entrance down to their discovery, which is the reason for this castle to have been built. And I think it'll be, an entryway right in the middle of the floor. I think that'll be really cool looking. So let's go ahead and get started on this facade. Now this wall here is just solid brick. So that'll be, I'll do that later, but that'll be just solid brick all the way up. There's no windows or anything. But this second part does start at the end of the 15. Now I believe on this side, I'll actually start right here, somewhere around there, and then this will all get deleted. But we'll get to that later. Right now, like I said, the main goal of this episode that I want to get done is getting this front done, because the very front of it with the opening will actually be quite detailed. So what we do on this one is we start off. The windows are a little different on this one, so we actually start off 4 tall. Okay, and like I said, this section is actually a lot smaller. Okay, so what I want to do is figure out the placing of my windows. And the windows are different too, so there's not crosses here, so we'll go, and that gives me 3. Yes, so that is correct. So on this side, I do the same. Oops, and then 3, and then the windows themselves are 5 tall. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, so the windows are like that. Comparing it with the cross windows, you know, that seems to be about the right size in order to make it look like the castle, like the actual castle. So let me get these set of windows done. Okay, and then on the second one, there's another 4 block space here. Like I said, it is a little smaller than the other tower itself, but it's a smaller tower. 5. And there's our window. Alright, so that's what we've got so far. And another word of advice I can give you is always double check your measurements. I did pretty good on this, but it's easy to miscount in this game. I always seem to be building in the dark. Okay, now this is where it gets unique here, because it only goes up. It's a 2 block space, so I need to go 3 up. Because this is where it gets a little, this actually does go upside down, because then, let's see, there's another, the wall actually comes out 1, like that. So the castle does have a little bit of depth put into it. Okay, we want to take it up 6. So there's 1, 2, 3. And this one will have 3. This one's got like 2 big parapets, I think they're called. And this one will actually have 3 smaller ones. So this is the top of the middle. Okay, and then here again we've got the weird stairs. They're not weird, but in a situation like that, you would more than likely go with the upside down. Which, again, it's what's making this build unique. So then there's our center. You can see how it's not as tall. There will be roof behind it. I'll have another link in the description below, which actually shows multiple views of this castle. I think the one I had included in the last one just showed the one picture. They've got a really neat website where you can actually scroll through all the different pictures, but it gives you different angles and stuff of the castle. And then if you go to there's a couple of tabs up on top. There's all by owner, 360 view, and videos. But if you go by owner, you can actually get a good view of the roof on it from only one angle, but it gives me something to work with, and you can see how unique it is on the roof, which is what I really, what really enticed me about it, about this castle. I really enjoyed looking at it. So, yeah, you can take a look at that and kind of see where I'm getting this inspiration from. So, I mean, if you compare it with the actual picture, the height's about right, the spacing on the windows is about right, and it kind of looks like the actual castle that I'm building. So, let me get some more and I will bring you back again. Alright guys, here's what I've got so far. I think it's looking pretty good. It's got some depth. Oops, I was taking some screenshots in the testing world for this next stage here, which will be this section right here. I'll have to get rid of that because that's not marking anything except the height, which, how far off was I? It's a little far off. So let's, just out of curiosity here. I'm the king to my castle, my domain. Yeah. See, right there is where that cave is, so we can use that as our mine, have an industrial area right here, maybe some more residential through here, and I'm definitely thinking, I already know I want docks. Where are they going to be? Right here. It's going to have docks right here, so that's not too far from the castle. I might have to, maybe make a road up here and put side door in to make sense as to bringing stuff in to the castle. But you can kind of see this is all open here, so that's what I liked about this castle itself, and I hope you guys can look at the pictures and see what I'm judging this off of. But there's a lot of vinage, so I'll have a lot of vines growing on here, and like I said, I'll change out the bricks. I'll throw some cracked in there, but we'll get into the detail of it later. But yeah, it's kind of what I wanted to show you is this whole series is not going to be just me building. Okay, yeah, that looks about right. Like I said, this series isn't going to be all just me building. Once we get this castle built, there's some things. I mean, this is going to be an adventure map, so you won't be able to break blocks and do all that good stuff. I might allow you to mine, with a certain pickaxe you'd have to buy, that type of thing. But yeah, one of the things I want is, I've mentioned several times a bank. And what I'm talking about with the bank is the main currency will be emeralds, just like in Minecraft when you're trading with villagers. So I keep that theme going. I like to keep that theme going. But, you can't carry around, don't want to carry around stacks of emeralds with you when you're out adventuring and stuff. So that's where a bank would come in. Now that we've got the scoreboard in Bedrock, I enjoyed using the scoreboard system in Java. So now that we've got it in Bedrock, we can use that as kind of our bank sometimes. Anyway, now that we have the scoreboard, we can actually set up a bank system. I'll set up a small redstone machine. So yeah, basically there'll be a place where you can literally deposit your emeralds. So we'll be doing some redstone, and once the emeralds are in there, I will use command blocks to store that count in the scoreboard. So you will be able to walk up to the bank, press a button, and see your account balance, so to speak. Yep, that looks right. So yeah, like I said, that's what the bank will consist of. So we'll go ahead and build that and figure out how to build it. So we'll do, a little bit of redstone to be able to count the emeralds that you guys deposit, and it'll also be some command blocks to enter that number into the scoreboard system, so we can figure out how all that's going to work. So like I said, it won't be all builds. We'll try and figure all that out, and we'll just kind of figure that out together. Again, that's one of the like about this game, is that you can come up with an idea and then figure out how to make it work. Not sure on these corners if I want to put them together or not. They actually kind of angled like that. Yeah, I think I'll go ahead and put the corners in. That one I don't have the corner in yet, but yeah, I think we'll go ahead and do that. So there we go. There's our next section, and then like I said, this is 2 pillars high. They go all the way up, so I'll go ahead and start off this with. And now to alleviate one of the other problems that you would have in adventure mode is you're going to collect up a lot of mob drops and stuff from the game that you're going to want to sell, but again, you don't want to carry all that with you. So I also want to set up some kind of a storage system where each person would have their own unique chest, and they would yeah, that looks right. I'll have to take some measurements and come back on that to get this fascia done here. And once this is done, then we just got another indent, which will be the same as this over here, and then another secondary tower in this corner. Of course, I'll have to do some landscaping at that point in order to get that done. But we'll go ahead and finish up this fascia together here, and then I'll take care of as much of the rest as I can. Like I said, I might not get too much done. I'm trying to get the Bedrock Zoo done. So let me get some measurements of this front here and make sure our spacing is right and everything. But that's the second one, and I think it's starting to turn out pretty cool. Yeah, obviously it needs more detail, more embellishments. Let's see what it looks like down here. Oh yeah, that's imposing, right? Oh, that looks cool. But like I said, that's my main goal for today, is get this front done. I want to get it completely done, and then once I get the Bedrock Zoo done, I can concentrate more on this, and we'll have other things to do. Probably the storage system that I'm thinking of. Like I said, I'll maybe have you a key card of some sort that you would carry with you. Now that would be one item in your inventory that you'd have to carry with you, but that's one item and you can store many. Basically what I'm thinking of is you throw that key card in and it would summon your particular chest, and then you can, probably a double chest, you can go ahead and store extra items and stuff in that double chest, and then return that double chest, get your key card back, and kind of a storage system like that. I haven't decided if I'm going to include magic, but if we do, then we'll have to come up with the spells. And we'll, again, like I said, figure out how those spells are going to work. And so there's going to be a lot of variety in this. Once I get this build done, I'll pretty it up. And basically, I do it a little differently than I do in the zoo right now. Actually, I want to see how we have in floors over here. But yeah, I kind of like to, mix it up a little bit. And let's see, so if I put that as the floor there, yeah, that gives me the 3 blocks, right? 1, 2, 3, okay. Like I said, always double check your measurements. Otherwise, you're going to end up tearing a bunch down that you don't want to do. Okay, and then this will probably go, that's where it comes out. There we go. So that'll probably be other floor. This top floor will actually be quite large, but that's okay. No, I guess that's about right. So this tower itself will only be 2 tall. Okay, let's see. It doesn't line up with that floor though. Said I know this is early to be trying to figure out the floors, but the more you get now, the less you have to mess with later. There we go. That looks better. Yeah, it looks more like it. And then our floors even up better. Yeah, because then you got the 1 block. 1 block here, you can jump up here. Perfect. So this is, like I said, trial and error. So now I know I got a better handle on this. So now we can actually, I'll just duplicate that on the other side, and that'll get our spacing a lot better. The one I did in the creative is just kind of just to give me an idea of spacing. But now that I'm actually doing the build, sometimes you have to actually adjust for certain things that you didn't take into consideration during the first test out of it. Okay, now that we just got some lighting in. I said we're in creative, so the monsters aren't going to actually bother us, but they do bother us because they become a nuisance when they're in our way trying to build. Alright, so I'm going to go back to the creative world, get some measurements and stuff, because this is going to be the toughest part of the build right here. But it's also the coolest looking, and once we get it done, like I said, then the rest of it's just duplicating it on the other side. So let me get back with you. Cool. Okay, now that I got the main entryway done, this is just squared off right here, is what this is. and then it goes back that way to the indent like this. Oops. Get out of my way, tree. Then it goes back to the indent like this, and then I can just reverse engineer that. Reverse copy that, but it's got a little bit of detail already built into it, and I got my spacing right, and then I can use like some kind of maybe a drawbridge ramp up here. I think that'd be kind of cool. Yeah, I think that would work out really well. But one of the other things you want to do at this point too, because this front is different, let's go ahead and bring around these floors. Let me get rid of some of these trees. So yeah, this is actually, I think it's a good size. I think it'll look really cool. And like I said, there'll be peaked roofs in the back. I think this is going to turn out really good, guys. Perfect. And like I said, well, I have several things to build in the castle, so I'm guessing the next several episodes will probably be inside this castle, or hopefully I'll have it built by next episode. Although I thought I'd have it built this time, but gotta work with what I got time-wise, you know. But yeah, I think with the design down there, I thought it turned out really cool. So it's, you know, the architecture itself has got some design into it already. So yeah, I think it's you know, looking really good. Like I said, in order to make the floors fit right, we might have to do some minor adjustments to the windows, but for the most part, I think we're in pretty good shape. Yeah, I think so. You know, this would probably be like a guardhouse where he can overlook who's coming in the front drawbridge. So yeah, I think that'd be cool. All right, guys. Let me get to this completed part here. Yeah, I think that's going to look really cool. All right, guys. Here's our front of our castle, of the Castle of Erart. I think it turned out pretty good. Let me take you around back here and I'll show you how I have the floors laid out. Everything's all nice and even and symmetrical. You can see on these blocks here that all come out, so there'll be this tower of 2, 3, 4, and then the roof. There's actually a small one underneath. I'll have to dig it out. I haven't done that yet, but there'll be some digging there, and that'll give us another 3-block high level, just like on this side over here, where we've got 3-block high. This center is really the only thing that's different, because right here is the drawbridge. So right here will be the machinery to bring the drawbridge up and down, or in our case, it'll be command blocks. This will be basically a guard floor right here, and not sure what else to do with this, but I'll figure out something we can use in there. But I try and take out extra blocks as much as I can, so I know what I'm working with here. Yeah, these ones I can't do. There we go. So yeah, I can't do those either. So that's the minimum I've got there. But yeah, try and knock out any extra blocks so it give me as much room as possible to build things inside. So pretty much we got the floors laid out. These little towers will be 2 tall, and then we've got 4 tall on the other floors. They'll be nice high ceilings. I think this is really going to look good, guys. I'm really happy with how this is turning out. I can't wait to get on with it and continue on getting this build done. But we've got one of the toughest parts here, the front. I think it's going to turn out really good. I think it looks really cool. Let's see how we got with the back of the building here, or the village, the city. Yeah, I think that's a good size. It's not too bad compared to not too big compared to the size of the buildings. Just kind of curious of what our view from up here would be. Sweet. Yes. I like it. I can't wait to get the back done and see what that's going to look like. But yeah, that's all I have time for today. I got to get cutting on the Bedrock Zoo so I can get it done and get working on this. masterpiece I think it's turning out to be. I think it's going to be a very unique castle. I'm very excited to build it, and I can't wait to get her done. So I will see you guys next week. Please don't forget to hit that like button. Subscribe to me if you're not subscribed. Get more videos, and actually, we'll learn together. So I will see you next week. Bye.